to organize this response to the Republicans. We do have one real and prevailing crisis in America. It's been with us now since 2008, and that's a jobs crisis. There are probably 20 million Americans who are unemployed, underemployed in this country when you get to the real numbers. Now, credible economists say if we could find a way to put those people or most of those people back to work and get unemployment down from 9.6 nationally to say 4.5 or 5%, that would solve a quarter of this deficit and debt crisis. That would be $2.5 trillion over 10 years. Now, the Republicans here have proposed $2.7 trillion of cuts over 10 years. So if we could put people back to work, we'd have about the same savings. Then, if we got people back to work and healed the economy a bit, all we have to do, and I talked about this earlier this week, is nothing. Let the Bush tax cuts expire. Go back to the bad old days of Bill Clinton. 3.8% unemployment, paying down debt, the rich paying a fair share. Those were the bad old days, according to the Republicans, because those job creators were paying some taxes. Oh my God, billionaires required to pay taxes at the rate equal to or higher than their secretaries and the janitors. Can you imagine that? Oh, what disaster. So now they're not only cutting programs and ignoring the jobs crisis, they're making the jobs crisis work. Last week, they ended the Federal Aviation Administration construction program for safety and security. They stopped collecting the tax. The Republicans stopped collecting the tax. It's a user-paid-for system on airline tickets. That's $30 million a day. Most airlines have taken it as a windfall, so the Republicans' mantra that if we lower taxes on corporations, they'll pass it through to the consumers. No, sorry, suckers. They keep the money, and you pay the same. But then the other mantra is, well, if we get rid of taxes, we'll create jobs. That's how you create jobs, by cutting programs and cutting taxes. Interesting. We've cut taxes on the airline industry by $30 million a day, $210 million a week. That's well over, that's a lot of money on a year's basis, over $1 billion. And guess what? We've lost 94,000 jobs. 4,000 jobs of people in the FAA who oversee the safety and security construction programs to make sure taxpayers get a fair value for their dollar, and 90,000 private sector construction jobs across America. And guess what? The American public doesn't know it yet, but this could well lead to either opening the door to a terrorist attack because we don't do some of the security programs, or causing a runway incursion because we don't finish the runway incursion program before the bad weather in the winter, or I don't get my instrument landing system in Coos Bay, North Bend before the winter, and a plane goes awry. We could have people die because of that. But to them, this is all good. We're giving people back their money, or we're giving the corporations the money, and don't worry. So we need to focus on jobs. There's nothing that they've been doing here for the last 6 months, 8 months, 7 months, however long they've been in power, it seems like 10 years, that has created a single job. In fact, they've cost us jobs. They're costing us jobs at an ever-accelerating rate. And now they want to cut just one more point. They want to cut all investment in transportation by 35%. That's an immediate loss of 600,000 private sector jobs. It means we won't deal with the 150,000 bridges on the national highway system that need rebuilding. We won't deal with the half of the pavement on the national highway system that needs redoing. We won't deal with the $70 billion backlog for new equipment for our transit systems that are so decrepit in places like the nation's capital that people are being killed. We won't deal with any of that. We won't put millions of people to work building new transit vehicles or new buses or bridges and steel and all those things with Buy America. The Republicans say, well, we'll just give the corporations the money and the rich people the money, and they'll trickle down on the rest of us. Well, we've been pretty well trickled down upon for way too long. It's time for new priorities, and I would reject the Republican agenda. Thank you.
Mr. DeFazio, thank you very much. You clearly pointed out that